Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3. The voice said to me, "Son of man, eat what I am giving to you. Eat this scroll. Then go and give its message to the people of Israel." So I opened my mouth, and he fed me the scroll. "Fill your stomach with this," he said, and when I ate it, it tasted as sweet as honey in my mouth. Then he said, "Son of man, go to the people of Israel and give them my messages. I am not sending you to a foreign people whose language you cannot understand. No, I am not sending you to a people with strange and difficult speech. If I did, they would listen. But the people of Israel won't listen to you any more than they listen to me, for the whole lot of them are hard-hearted and stubborn. But look, I have made you as obstinate and hard-hearted as they are. I have made your forehead as hard as the hardest rock. So don't be afraid of them or fear their angry looks, even though they are rebels." Then he added, "Son of man, let all my words sink deep into your own heart first. Listen to them carefully for yourself. Then go to your people in exile and say to them, 'This is what the sovereign Lord says. Do this whether they listen to you or not.'" Then the Spirit lifted me up, and I heard a loud rumbling sound beside me. May the glory of the Lord be praised in this place. It was the sound of the wings of the living beings as they brushed against each other, and their rumbling of their wheels beneath them. The Spirit lifted me up and took me away. I went in bitterness and turmoil, but the Lord's hold on me was strong. Then I came to the colony of the Judean exiles in Tel Abib beside the Kibar River. I was overwhelmed and sat among them for 7 days. After 7 days, the Lord gave me a message. He said, "Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately. If I warn the wicked, saying, 'You are under the penalty of death,' but you fail to deliver the warning, they will die in their sins, and I will hold you responsible for their deaths. If you warn them and they refuse to repent and keep on sinning, they will die in their sins, but you will be saved yourself because you obeyed me. If righteous people turn away from their righteous behavior and ignore the obstacles I put in their way, they will die. And if you do not warn them, they will die in their sins. None of their righteous acts will be remembered, and I will hold you responsible for their deaths. But if you warn righteous people not to sin, and they listen to you and do not sin, they will live, and you will have saved yourself too." Then the Lord took hold of me and said, "Get up and go into the valley, and I will speak to you there." So I got up and went, and I saw the glory of the Lord, just as I had seen in my first vision by the Kibar River, and I fell down on the ground. Then the Spirit came into me and set me on my feet. He spoke to me and said, "Go to your house and shut yourself in. There, son of man, you will be tied with ropes, so you cannot go out among the people. And I will make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth, so that you will be speechless and unable to rebuke them, for they are rebels. But when I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue and let you speak. Then you will say to them, 'This is what the sovereign Lord says.' Those who choose to listen will listen, but those who refuse will refuse, for they are rebels." One thought. Ezekiel chapter 3 begins dripping in irony. At the beginning of the chapter, the Lord comes to Ezekiel and he tells him to eat a scroll. And I don't think he's literally eating paper, it's a vision. But in this vision, he's called to eat a scroll. And when he opens his mouth and he's fed the scroll, it's said that when he ate it, it tasted as sweet as honey. But the irony of this is just one chapter previously, right at the end of chapter 2, it says that this scroll that he's given, it says he was given a scroll, and when he unrolled it, he saw that both sides were covered with funeral songs, words of sorrow, and pronouncements of doom. In other words, he's given a scroll in Ezekiel 2, chapter 2, verse 10, he's given a scroll that pronounces judgment. And yet when he eats this scroll, it says that it's as sweet as honey. I think we see some ironic reversals here, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden. God had told Adam, don't eat of this. And if you do, if you disobey, then you will bring death and destruction into the world. And Adam disobeys and eats. Here, God comes to Ezekiel and says, eat this. And even though it's a scroll of judgment, Ezekiel is an obedient eater. And through his obedience, although his task is difficult and unpleasant, it is as sweet as honey because he is obeying the Lord. And so I think this just goes to show that while sometimes the things we have to do as believers can be difficult, there is a sweetness to obedience even in the face of somewhat unpleasant tasks. But there's a further irony that's going on in this chapter, because God now commissions and sends Ezekiel out, and he says, look, I'm not sending you to a foreign people in verse 5. He says, I'm not sending you to a people with a strange and difficult speech. But what's the irony here? It says in verse 6, if I did send you, they would listen. So the pagans, the Gentiles, those that have no knowledge of God, that have no history with God, if God sent Ezekiel to proclaim the gospel or proclaim his message to them, they would listen. But he says, but the people of Israel won't listen to you. The people of God, the people that God rescued from slavery in Egypt, the people that God has shown abundant miracles to, providing them with meat and water in the wilderness, guiding them to the promised land, driving out the Canaanites, settling them there, and doing miracle after miracle, giving them his very word. It is those people that won't listen. And so we see that there's a receptivity amongst those that have no knowledge of God. And here, the very ones who should know God, they will reject the message. And yet, even though Ezekiel is sent to this hard-hearted people, he was called to just preach the truth. Just preach the truth. In fact, he's given courage and boldness from the Lord. He's like, I'm going to make you as obstinate as they are, as hard-hearted as they are. In other words, I'm going to make you bold and courageous. I'm making your forehead as hard as rock so that you can lead and press forward and move into this commission with boldness and courage and not be afraid. And so all Ezekiel needed to do was be obedient and walk the path. The results were up to the Lord. And so he followed him wholeheartedly. And the same calling is on us today. We don't have the same, visions that Ezekiel does as a prophet. We don't have the same preaching ministry as Ezekiel does as a prophet. But there is a sweetness in obedience, and there's a sweetness in faithfulness to just do what the Lord has called us to do and allow him to control the outcome.